Hi friends, welcome back. So in this video, I'll be discussing about some of the very much important interview questions on Agile project. The first interview question is, what is the difference between definition of ready and definition of done? So first we'll try to understand what is the definition of ready. So definition of ready is nothing but a criteria or a checklist which is required to be followed to consider whether a given user story is ready to be taken by the Scrum team for implementation. When we should take user story for implementation, for that user story estimations are completed. Plus also there should be an alignment with the team as well for that user story, where the Scrum team has a very much clear idea on that user story. All the test cases which we wanted to take up for this user story is also been identified. Then we'll try to understand what is a definition of done in Agile project. The definition of done in Agile project is also a criteria or a checklist. Normally this will be done in opposite way, where we will be considering to check the user story has been completed in all the aspect in terms of implementation. This definition of done is getting validated after implementation. Definition of done is more of a common understanding, or it is a rule to ensure that we deliver with a high quality. It also meets the organizational requirements to ensure that we deliver the right user stories at the end of the given sprint. This is all about definition of done and definition of readiness of a user story. Next question is, what is the minimum and maximum length of a typical sprint? And again, we should explain why it is minimum and why it is maximum. The minimum length of a given sprint, it cannot be less than 2 weeks in any Agile project, and also it need not be more than 4 weeks. It should be less than 4 weeks only for any sprint. And also we should ensure that for each team we should have a similar length of the sprint to ensure that we have a right team capacity in place for a given sprint. For each team we have a certain capacity, and also for each team there is also a velocity that we measure for every sprint. Because of this, we keep as a standard the length of the given sprint. Next question is, what is the difference between a capacity and a velocity? This is a very common interview question which will be asked in any interview. We'll try to understand what is all about velocity first. The velocity is nothing but it is the average story points that team can deliver. Again, the velocity is calculated based on a story points that is already completed by the same team in the earlier sprint. That is all about a velocity. Then we'll try to understand what is all about a capacity. The capacity is nothing but it is a team availability during the sprint. And this metrics, the capacity metrics, is used to help the team to understand how much team's time is available for the sprint in order to implement the user story. In order to plan anything in a given sprint, we should understand what is all about the capacity available in the team. Once we know what is the capacities available in the team, so based on that, we will be taking up the user stories in order to implement in a given sprint. For example, out of 4 members team, 2 of the team members on vacation. Now if you can imagine here, out of 4 people, 2 people are on vacation, you can understand the capacity of the overall team is reduced. And also there is also a holiday is coming, then definitely you should consider the capacity of the team in order to planning for a given sprint. That is a very crucial to have a capacity metric in your organization. The team capacity will be used for finalizing the sprint backlog, and also the capacity will be used for picking up the story points for a given sprint. That is all about a velocity and a capacity in a Agile project. We will try to understand what to do if the sprint ends but no tasks are done, no tasks are completed? This is also a very important question, and we should be able to answer this question in this way. In Agile projects, we do not extend any sprints. Let's say if we define 2 weeks of sprints, which is of 10 days, then we have to work for only 10 days. If any user story which is planned is not implemented, then we won't be extending that sprint at any cost. Even items which is planned in a given sprint, even those user stories are not done, what we should do here is we should work with the product owner, and he will be deciding based on the priority which one to take it up and which one they have to put it back to the sprint backlog. The next question is, what are the tools normally used in the Scrum teams? There are various tools available in the market. It could be Jira, Rally, Version 1, Agile Cockpit, Scrumwise, Agile Bench. These are some of the tools can be used in any Scrum projects. Why does Scrum uses story points instead of hours? In any Scrum projects, we won't do any estimation based on the hours. We do estimation based on the story points. Why do we really do like that? Because the story points are relative way and very easy to measure the overall effort for a user story. In Agile projects, there are many people, many resources will work together, and every team member may not have a same skills. They will come with a different skills. Each person can complete in a different timeline or with a different efforts, because it would lead to complexity if we just use hours. In order to avoid that, in Agile or Scrum projects, we do normally use story points. Can you name few frameworks that is being used to coordinate more than one Scrum team? Suppose in a given Agile projects, if the Agile project is very big enough, then what are the different frameworks can be used to coordinate between more than one Scrum team? There are 3 different frameworks available. One is large scale Scrum framework, and the second one is scaled Agile framework, and the third is Scrum of Scrum. These are the 3 frameworks can be used to coordinate between more than one Scrum team in Agile project.